In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus was arrested. And now at the end of Luke chapter 22, we see what happens next. The Jerusalem leaders who ordered Jesus' arrest have only one aim, and that is to get rid of this man. Enough is enough. As far as they're concerned, Jesus is a dangerous liar and a threat to the fragile peace of the city, and he needs to die. And so the High Council gathers. When the members of this council ask Jesus if he is the Messiah, the one sent from God, they're not asking because they're genuinely interested in the answer. They're asking because they want Jesus to incriminate himself. They've already decided that Jesus definitely isn't the Messiah. And if he thinks he is, then he's clearly a false prophet and he should be killed. So this isn't a council interested in justice, in truth or in facts. This is a trial which can have only one outcome. These kinds of trials still happen today across the world, in places where justice is not a matter of right and wrong, it's a matter of who has power and who is in charge. Jesus refuses to answer the council's question directly. If I tell you, you will not believe, he says. But he does give them an answer of sorts. Jesus answers them by referring to the book of Daniel in the Old Testament. In Daniel chapter 7, we find a dream that Daniel has, in which God's people are persecuted by terrible beasts, until one like a son of man, that's Daniel's words, comes to God and is given the kingdom and the throne. Compare that to Jesus' response to the council. From now on, the Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the power of God. This is Daniel chapter 7 all over, and the people of the council know it. This is Jesus claiming to be the Son of Man from Daniel chapter 7, the one who is persecuted but then given the kingdom. But if Jesus is the Son of Man who was persecuted by these terrible beasts, and the council is persecuting Jesus, then the people of the council are the beasts of Daniel 7, the people opposed to God and his plans. No wonder they say, "What more testimony do we need?" In their minds, Jesus has condemned himself. He thinks that he is the Messiah, and they are the beasts who oppose God. He is clearly a false prophet. He needs to die. But the council has a problem. They don't have the power to give a death sentence. For that, they need the Romans. Meanwhile, one of Jesus' closest friends, Peter, has followed Jesus to the high priest's house and is waiting in the courtyard. Peter, often impetuous and hot-headed, when Jesus was walking on the water, Peter was the one who said, "Lord, can I come and join you?" When Jesus asked the disciples what they thought about him, Peter was the one who spoke for them all. "We think you're the Messiah." And just last night, when Jesus talked about what was going to happen, Peter had said, "Lord, I'm ready to go with you to prison and to death." And here is Peter now, in the courtyard of the high priest, denying 3 times that he ever knew Jesus. And then the cock crows, and Jesus turns and looks at Peter. What was the expression on Jesus' face at that point, I wonder? I wish we knew, but we don't. But it's enough to send Peter running in tears. All those great words of the previous evening, "I'm ready to go with you to prison and death," gone, coming to nothing in just a few hours. We shouldn't be too hard on Peter though. Peter here is you and me. Those of us who claim to follow Jesus, claim to be his people. We want to be the best we can. We want to be faithful, but so often we deny Jesus. Perhaps not with our lips, but with our lives. Perhaps not with what we say, but with what we do. Brennan Manning, who was a Catholic priest in America, said this: "The greatest single cause of atheism today is Christians who acknowledge Jesus with their lips and walk out the door and deny him by their lifestyle. That is what an unbelieving world simply finds unbelievable." Peter denied Jesus and ran. We often do the same, deny him by how we live. But all is not lost for Peter. There is more to come. There is a way back for him, and a way back for us as well. Peter left that morning facing his own frailty and weakness, facing his inability to be the man he wanted to be. We often face that too. Our intentions are good. We want to do the right thing. We want to follow and be faithful. But we find often we cannot do it. But there is hope for us too. So we leave the story now at the end of Luke chapter 22 with Peter in tears and Jesus condemned by the council. Events are moving quickly and things are going to get worse before they get better.